Hello, John. I've got your 220S carburetors finished. Want to go over a few things with you. This one is complete. I've got the float bowl cover off of this one to show you for testing purposes. I've got fluid in there, and I want to show you the accelerator pump discharge nozzle. Make sure you guys know how well this is working, and make sure that you understand in the future how it's supposed to work. What you're going to look for is a little tiny needle jet spray of fuel right there. It's hard to see. Let's get closer. There we go. Now what you want is good strong spray and good duration, and if you don't have that, and you can see it by looking down inside the carburetor throat and accelerating the carburetor, and if you don't see it because you've got a clog in the tube or in the check valve that's inside here, and this hole right there is about the diameter of a needle, so it's real easy to get clogged, and therefore it's very important for you to have clean filtered fuel. So I recommend installing an extra fuel filter before the fuel pump on your car. Some other things we'll be discussing. Let's see here. This dash pot. This is a oil dampened dash pot, and this little plug right here, you unscrew this plug and you put 10 weight oil in here, or 3-in-1 oil or sewing machine oil, and you dribble it in there until it starts to come out, and then you replace your plug. Got to have some oil in there to dampen the piston that goes up and down inside here. Now then, initial settings for the carburetors have already been done, but they're real easy to do. This is, make sure you can see there. Let's get down here a little bit further. A little bit closer rather. Alright, this is the idle setting, and what I've done is what you do, and I will demonstrate right here as we speak. You'll be able to see this lever moving up this way. Alright, so our lever's moving, and what we're going to do is push on it until it doesn't move anymore. Alright, it's not moving, and we're going to go in till we just make initial contact. Just started to move. So now we're going to screw this in 1.5 turns. Half, half, half. Now then, that's your initial idle setting. This is your idle mixture screw, and the same thing applies to it, except we're going to screw it in until it bottoms out. Just very gently screw it in until it touches. There, just touch, that's all, just a light touch, and back it out 1.5 turns. Half, half, half. Alright, so this will give you your initial settings to start the car, warm it up, and then once it's warmed up and idling, you're going to adjust the idle mixture screw till you get your best idle, in and out, until you get your best idle. And then you're going to adjust here to get your idle speed, lowest idle speed that you feel comfortable with, 600, 700 RPM. Go back to here and adjust this back and forth until you get your best running at that idle speed. And then you'll goose the throttle, zoom, zoom, and make sure you don't have any popping back through the carburetor. And if you do have popping back through the carburetor, it means this is in too far. Back it out just a smidge. We're talking about very small increments in terms of movement, very small increments. And that is how you adjust these carburetors and get them tuned properly. And you can do this anytime you want. Be sure to have the carburetors disconnected from each other so that they are running independently of each other. That way you don't have a linkage issue, artificially opening or closing one carburetor when you're trying to work on the other one. Very straightforward situation, and this is going to vary with atmospheric conditions and with fuel. So don't hesitate to every once in a while adjust this to get your best running. And that's all there is to that. Let's see if there's anything else I can mention. The accelerated pump discharge quantity is controlled by the accelerator pump right here. So you're pumping fuel into the circuit that goes through these jets right here and comes up and goes out through here. So if at some point you don't get any fluid coming out of here, it could be, as I mentioned, stuck, could be clogged in this tube right here, could be clogged in this jet right here, or in this jet. Those are your main places to worry about in terms of debris getting in there. Now then, your idle is actually controlled by the idle jet right here, and I'll show you how this one works. This simply screws in and snugs down, and the only thing that controls the idle is this jet right here. So I can get it out, get all this hardware in the way. So if you've lost your idle, but you can rev up the engine and it runs fine, and then you back it off and it dies at idle, it's because of this jet right here. And that hole, that jet right there, that orifice is 0.50 millimeters, 0.50 millimeters, which is really skinny and really thin rather. So if you ever have any trouble with the idle, not having any idle, what you're going to do is take this out and blow through it and remove whatever minuscule piece of debris is in here. In fact, you probably won't even be able to see the debris, but you'll know it's there because you have lost your idle. And that's all there is to that. That's a real easy one to take care of. And you just screw it in, snug it down, because it's a metal to metal contact and seal. I'm trying to think what else. I think that covers it. Got new balls here, so your linkage will be as tight as possible. Make sure your sockets on your end are nice and snug. Put a little ATF on them for lubrication. Let's see what else we got here we can mention. That's about it. This is an adjustable. This is adjustable for your accelerated pump diaphragm and discharge, but I've got it adjusted where it looks like it's coming out just fine. But this is an adjustment that you can dink with if you so choose. But right now all you need is a nice fine needle spray coming out of there, and you are good to go. That's it. Thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate it greatly, and I'll get these get the fluid out of here, get them dried out, and bundled up and off to you. Thank you, sir.